Hey guys, welcome back to Obscene Plant Scene, where I like plants and have a potty mouth. Today I'm doing some more planty repots. I have a couple of plants that I need to upsize, and then I have a couple of plants that I've been acclimating for a few weeks, like 5 or 6, and it is time to get them in some soil that is not absolute garbage. If you can guess, they're from the place that starts with a W and ends with an Walmart. Actually, one of them is. I think the others are from online. But either way, it's time. It's time. So the first one that I'm going to get started with, I don't remember the name of. I will put it up on the screen here in front of my new smoker. But it is my Hoya wavy leaf something. I have had this in my office under a grow light. Oh, she's tilted. What the fuck? Bloop. Nope. This is why she needs a repot, because what is happening? I want to put it in a bigger pot so that I can move it out of quarantine and into the big part of my house where I have all my nice display plants. Whenever I get new plants, I quarantine them in my office slash guest room slash plant room. So I'm going to put this in a little bigger pot so that I can put it in a pretty outer pot and then put it under the shelves that I have in my lounge. And then I also have a Enjoy pothos, or not an Enjoy, a Pearls and Jade pothos. I'll explain why I want to repot that one in a little bit. And then I have a global green, because my global green that I had last year was next to a marble queen that out of the blue got thrips in a corner of my lounge. I had a global green, a neon queen, and a marble queen all in the same corner, and they were the only plants there, not near any other plants by feet and feet and feet. And just I looked over one day and there was just a ton of yellow leaves that weren't there a few days prior. And that's the thing with thrips, is if you get thrips, they devastate plants so quickly. So I finally got around to getting a replacement. And then I also got a global green, and then this one that starts with an L that I don't remember the name of. Lemon meringue. There we go. I was going to say, I knew it was lemon something, but wasn't margarine. I was going to say margarine. That's totally not right. So I'm going to do all 3 of the pothos and this guy. So I'm going to start with my Hoya here, because this should be easy. I want to up pot and put it out in my lounge too, because I would love for this one to, it's got so much new growth on it, I would love for it to bloom this year. I don't remember what the blooms look like. If I can find a picture, I'll also put that on screen. I've been able to get a couple of my Hoyas to bloom, so I'm hoping this year I can get a couple more. So I'm trying not to damage it, because I really don't like getting Hoya sap on my hands. Let's wiggle her out. I'm trying to keep it on the trellis and just kind of shimmy shake. Oh, hell yeah. Just get a little bit of that out. This is really good soil, so I'm not going to do a full, yellow leaf. I'm not going to do a full repot. Usually I like to fuck with the roots. I'm just going to leave this as it is and just kind of gently put her in a new pot and not fuck with it too much. So, bloop. Don't fall. Oh, brother. I'm just going to hold it right here. I have little pots. This is the only pot I have. I need to get more 6 inches. Oh, that's such a big upgrade. Oh. That makes me real nervous. I don't really want to put it in that big of a pot, but the only other one I have is that. That's barely an upgrade. You know what? My hoya like to be a little snug. I'm gonna order 6-inch pots soon. Now I'll force myself to order 6-inch pots. I'm just gonna put it in this. It'll just be a little upgrade, but at least it's something that'll add a little more stability. I'll let the roots get all settled in there, and then maybe at the end of the summer I'll do a new pot situation. I don't follow the rules where you're not supposed to repot over the summer, or if it's not the spring and summer, because I think that's silly. I keep my plants indoors where the conditions are stable all year, so I just repot when I feel like it. Unless it's plants that I put outside, but that's a different story. Okay, so that's good. That should be more stable. I'm also going to try to center it in the pot. That way the heart doesn't look fucking ridiculous. Yeah, buddy. Okay. I'm planting this in my chunky soil mix. If you know, you know. The chunky soil mix dance. But yeah, while I'm doing this, I have to have a little rant. So I have I don't have a camera, like one of those rings or anything like that in front of my house, but I do have a motion detecting bird feeder. Me and my family like birds. So it detects motion out in front of it, and what it detected the other day, or the other night I should say, was some freaking deer. So over the last couple of years, I have tried to put a lot of time and work and love and effort into my front garden bed, filling it with all kinds of pretty plants. I've got my banana tree out there, and I'll try to put some pictures in because I want you guys to see. I've put my, I have some rose bushes, I have some hostas, I have some hydrangeas. I'm in zone 8B, so most of these are ones that die back and then come back every year. I have purple heart tradescantia. I've just got a bunch of plants out there, right? Some canna lilies, my elephant ears, which I'm so ready to come back. It's been so cold outside that it's been really hard on a lot of my plants that need the warmer weathers to kind of spring out of dormancy, pun intended. And my colocasias, or elephant ears, whatever you want to call them, they are the ones that are affected the most, I feel like. And my caladiums, I love a caladium, I'm obsessed with them, but they're the ones that I feel like have been hit the hardest by the temps not warming up quite as quickly as they normally would this time of year in my planting zone. So unfortunately, they have not really popped out like they have in previous years. I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks they'll decide they want to kind of spring to life. Like I said, I'll put in a picture of what they looked like last year. They were massive. And they're just like little itty bitty babies this year. Haven't really done much. But rant that I originally started with talking about is my freaking hostas. I look on the camera and, you know, I've seen animals here and there on the camera, you know, the ever occasional cat, you know, neighborhood stray. I've seen rabbits and obviously birds and squirrels, and saw a raccoon a couple times, saw a possum, and then I started seeing the fucking deer. And I have relished the last 2 months how pretty my hostas have been. They've been blooming, they've been pristine, absolutely perfect. Nothing's been touching them. Like, the colors have been immaculate. And within the last 3 days, all of my hostas are gone. Completely chewed off to freaking nubs. Just done. So that's disappointing. That's upsetting. I'm not happy. I'm unwell. I mean, not unwell, but you know what I mean. I'm ill. I'm annoyed. So if you have any recommendations for what to do about pesky, annoying, but don't want to kill deer, I would absolutely love some advice. Wow, these are just... Oh, so this is my global green. And there she is. You can see all the prettiness-ish. There we go. So, need to repot this, and I'm just... This is half full of just garbage. Well, that dirt sucks. So, repotting this bad boy into dirt that is not from a company that rhymes with schmasta. You know what I'm talking about. What even is this? Do you see this? It's just done. Ain't nothing on there but deadness. Okay, well that's not going in the pot. So I'm just going to separate some of these out, pick off all those like dead bits, because some of these roots are just absolutely shot. So I'm going to pick those off. Because when I repot, I don't want to repot dead roots in, because that is just asking for rot. And I've had this one and the lemon meringue for a couple of months, probably 2 months at this point. Yeah, I've watered them once, and the soil sucks so much that I probably haven't watered these in 2 weeks, and the soil is still wet. So that would be why I'm repotting into soil that doesn't suck ass. So yeah, I've been very inspired lately to take a little tangent on something that I was talking about with a friend of mine in the planting community the other day. I've been very inspired lately since I came back from the Big Plant Expo a month and a half, 2 months ago, a couple months ago at this point. And I've really enjoyed dabbling in YouTube, or content creation, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, I watch a lot of content creators on YouTube. I watch people from the plant community. I watch people from the food community. Those are my two biggest avenues, I would say, is plants and food. I watch comedians. I use YouTube a lot for tutorials on things. YouTube has taught me how to do many a thing to my car. I've changed many a part in my car. I learned how to install my dishwasher that I got a couple years ago from YouTube. I watch YouTube every single night. I watch meditation videos to help me fall asleep. So YouTube plays a huge part in my life. And feeling like I wanted to contribute to YouTube for such a long time and just been scared or like nervous about what people will think or say or do, or, you know, how will my family react? How will me react? Will it give me anxiety? Will it, you know, whatever. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I've learned that with practice, it's taken me a long time to learn that I'm just going to do the things that make me happy and bring me joy, and that's it. That's that. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't bring me joy. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't make me happy, you know, unless it's something that like I'm obligated to do, or something that I'm legally bound to do. Like obviously I don't enjoy like paying my taxes or going to my 9 to 5. That's a different story for a different day. But you know, sometimes we got to do the things that we don't enjoy so that we can have time and energy and money to do the things that we actually do enjoy. So sacrifices will be made now for the betterment of my future. God, there's so many of these roots that are just shot to shit, man. So upsetting how many of these are just dead. And I'm not even having to like really pull hard. I'm just getting the little scraggly bits. Like that little chunk right there. Not chunk, but like, you see the end of that root? Probably not. That's like black. I just kind of pinch it off and then check it. And that's what I'll do for the rest of these. So I'm just separating each individual plant, because if you've ever bought a pothos from Costa, you will know they take all these little nodes and they stick them in a pot and wish them well. Like that node is just, the whole thing just fell off. Like some of these look absolutely terrible, so I may not even keep all of the ones that are potted up in here. Like, I don't know what's going on with this one. This leaf has like weird dots on it, but the first leaf that came out has like a weird, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see that. Let's see. No, you can kind of see right there. It's got a little dinkle hopper. There we go. It's got like a little dongle on it, but then this leaf has these weird like texture situation going on, which looks pesty. I don't know. I may put this one off to the side because that seems a little different. So I might pot that one up by itself and see what happens. Yeah, a couple more of these look a little pesty. So when I do pot all these up together, they will not be going, as my husband calls it, in general pop when I take plants out of quarantine. They will not be going in general pop. They will be going back in my office after I douse them in my pest treat stuff. They seem really wet, so I'm going to spray them down with my trifecta. So I'm going to do a abamectin spray in case there's any spider mite situations happening anywhere that I can't see. I'm going to spray them down with my copper fungicide just to be on the safe side in case they are a little moldy, fungusy in here anywhere. And then I am also going to, I need to get rid of this because this is just grody. And I'm also going to spray them down with spraying with abamectin. Oh no, only 2 sprays. I'm going to spray them with abamectin. And then I'm going to spray them with my fungicide. Then I'm going to douse them in SNS 209. And I don't know if it would be overkill to also put some granules in. I may leave that for a couple weeks and see what happens. So knowing that these came out of a really dense soil mix, I have a large bin of mix that I use for my outdoor plants. It is just regular old houseplant soil, and then I amend it with big perlite, little perlite, and bark. So it just gives it a little bit more chunk to it, but really drainy. So you can kind of see there, it's got a lot of drainage. Normally I would plant pothos in my chunky mix. However, I don't like transitioning Costa plants or plants that are obviously planted in like straight peat. Sometimes I get houseplants from like nurseries that'll be in just straight peat because it's great if you've got a 10,000 foot greenhouse and fans and shit like that. I don't. So I like to slowly transition them into a chunkier mix. So I will do my outdoor houseplant soil that's still got a lot of moisture retentiveness, but not like too much air because I don't want the roots to get dry rot. So I'm going to use this and pop these bad boys up. And these, since I know pothos roots go ham for a big pot, I am going to put in the bigger pot. That's a nice vine right there. I'm going to do a couple at a time. Let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 plants. That looks good. Yeah. So I'll just plant them in like that. I'm not going to worry too much about like the direction of the plants or making sure they all look like they're facing the same, because I'll train the vines as they grow to go the direction that I want, and then we can go from there. Do a little schmiggity schmack, and then just try to, I'm not going to smoosh it down too much, but I am going to pack it in as good as I can. Make sure you get soil in between the plants. That way they are totally covered, or at least I can't see any roots. All right. Now we're cooking. All right. I'd love to know if you guys do this too, where you do like a slow transition of your plants, or if you just go straight into like something really dense to something not super dense. Because see, like that's almost 50% perlite, so it's not dense at all. Oh, the way that I check the density of my plants soils, if I want something that's going to still be well draining, is I know if it's well draining if I can take a handful of it and smoosh it in my hand, and when I let go, it doesn't stay compact together. So if I can smoosh it and it stays, it still keeps the shape of like my fist, then I know it's way too dense and it needs more aeration. That's just how I do it. Oops. That's just how I do it. Obviously, you can do it however you want. It's your soil mix. So with these being the 6 that I decided to keep in this pot, that leaves me with 3 little sprigs, plus that weird one that had the dongle leaf. Yeah, the weird one that had the dongle leaf and the speckly textured bit on the bottom. So I'm going to pot these up in their own little situation. Didn't mean to grab all these. Grab one. So I'm going to pot these up in their own little situation. That way I can monitor them separately. I don't like putting one pothos in a cup. To me, it just looks silly unless it's in like a 2-inch cup. So I'm going to put some soil on these. Get them all settled in there. Riveting content looking at my back, by the way. Okay. Get those down in there. And since these are pothos, I don't do it with all of my houseplants, especially with cactus and succulents, but since these are pothos, I'm going to take all of them when I'm done repotting and spraying them down. I'm going to give them a real good drink and make sure that they are well watered. And then I'll leave them in the garage for a little bit while the pest sprays dry, because I don't bring them in my house until the leaves are totally dry, because that's when the ingredients in the pesticides are non-toxic to pets and animals. Okay, so you saw me take this out. These are the twisty pots from Costa. I don't like these at all. The other one was in this pot from Costa, where it's got the little lip where you can pull the pot out. These I'm good with. These are fine. I don't like these twisty ones because you can still use this as an outer cache pot for whatever size planter will fit in here. You don't have to use a 5-inch. These, because it's got the twisty and this is a specific size and it's got the lip on the inside that holds the nursery pot, you really can't use another pot size, or if you do, it looks silly. Plus, getting it out of here is a pain. Also, if you need to know how to do that, that's the easiest way that I found. So, now that we got this bad boy out, this is my lemon meringue, as you can see. And in case you have a hard time with the difference between the lemon meringue and the global green, the global green, think of it as a green leaf with light speckling, and this is a light leaf with dark speckling. So they're like the inverse. So I'm gonna take this one out. Ooh, try to keep as much of this straight peat. This is like peat and sand. Ooh. Yeah. I've also found that the pest treatments that I use knock out fungus gnats. So that's the other reason that I do. This has like peat, fertilizer, and sand. Oh, that's upsetting. Alright, so if I'm repotting plants and they've got like they're coming out of decent soil and I'm just repotting them into my preferred soil, I will take the soil and I will straight up put them in like my outdoor garden, or I'll put them in my front garden bed. Obviously I won't put them in the garden where I grow food because I'm kind of particular about what goes in there, but this shit I don't do anything with it. I just chuck this stuff. I straight up put it in a trash bag and then put it in my trash can. I don't mess around with this kind of mess. So there's one. And then as I'm doing this, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm also like looking over all of the leaves and plants, or all of the leaves on the plants. Not every single leaf, obviously, but I'm kind of doing like a once over check, kind of evaluating what the situation is, making sure I don't see any obvious like mealybugs or like spider mites. I know how to take care of. I know what to do with those. Mealybugs, it's a little bit different. I do treat with straight alcohol when I have mealybugs. I've had them before on a Hoya compacta. Oh man, I got them on a Tradescantia one year, which was wild. It was the end of last year. I had a big teddy bear Tradescantia, one of my favorite Tradescantias, by the way. Big teddy bear Tradescantia, and I brought it inside because I don't overwinter mine outdoors. I bring them in, and when I brought it in, it didn't even dawn on me to like check for pests because I've never had pests on a Tradescantia ever in the 5 years that I've been doing planting stuff. Bring it in, I hang it up in my closet in my office where I hung up all my other outdoor hanging baskets that I brought in. And underneath of it, I had a couple of Hoya that were like on the bottom of the closet that were part of a group of plants that I was selling. So I sold a Crimson Queen to somebody off of Facebook Marketplace. Great transaction. Everything went fine. And then 2 days later, she sends me a message and says, hey, it's not a big deal, but I'm just letting you know I found a mealybug on this Hoya that you sent me. Well, she paid me with Cash App, so for my own conscience, I went ahead and immediately refunded her the money that she gave me because I'm not playing that. I'm like, hey, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. Like, I'd never had that happen before where I'd sold a plant to somebody and then they reached out and said there was a bug on it. Get out of here. So I immediately refunded her. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me know also, because then I went and checked all my other Hoyas, didn't see anything. I'm like, I don't know where this came from. Let me get back to you as soon as I find the culprit. I refunded you. I'm so sorry again. So I kept looking through my Hoyas because I know Hoya are mealybug magnets. I didn't see anything on any of them, just to be on the safe side. I put some pest stuff in the soils, and lo and behold, a few days later, I go to check the Triscanthia because I'm like, oh, let me see, it's been inside for a couple weeks. Let me see if it's time to water it. I found four mealybugs. At that point, I stopped looking, and I took the whole thing, and this broke my heart. I took the whole thing to my outside dumpster, and I threw the whole damn pot in the plant, or the pot and the plant and everything in the trash. That sucked. That really sucked, because it was a half pot of variegated baby bunny bellies and a half pot of regular, and the variegation on the one side was so pretty. It was like mostly yellow. The stripes were stunning. It really sucked throwing that away. Because again, that's one of my favorite. It is my favorite Triscanthia. Like, Nanook is great. It's pretty. A little particular about its conditions. But baby bunny belly is so hard to fucking kill. Unless you let it get infested with mealybugs, in which case, what are you doing? Being dumb? No, of course. You're me. I am she. She's the problem. So, that was disappointing. But, yeah, so that's another reason why I don't mess around with my soils, bringing them indoors. And plants like these, where they're in this peat nonsense, I take them out as soon as the opportunity presents itself, and I feel like the plant is going to do okay repotting. It's had time to acclimate to my conditions, at least good enough. So now these vines are a little bit longer than my global, so I actually am going to try to position these where they're like cascading off in the same direction. And when I have a lot of vines like this, I like to put some in, and then I'll add some soil. And then I'll put some more in. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a pretty one. 6. And I'll do, these two are kind of small. I'll do 7. Yeah, because that one's really pretty. Okay. So this is 7. Just kind of hold those together like that. Need more hands. Okay. Put these in here. Kind of do the same thing like I did with my global green. Just kind of do the soil like that. I love these little scoops, by the way. I got these 3 years ago in a multi-pack from freaking Temu. I don't support them anymore, but I did get these from Temu, yeah, 3 years ago at this point, and it was like a 4-pack for $5, and I still use them to this day. Every time I do plant chores, I have one in each bucket, like designated bucket. So I have a pink one, a brown one, a blue one, and purple, orange. There we go, orange. So they're just like the perfect size for scooping and like getting up in there on plants and in between plants. And the only time I won't use these is when I'm doing like real big pots, just because they are a little small. So if I'm doing like an outdoor repot into like a 10-gallon or some mess, then I'll use my big scoop, or I'll just use a straight up bowl. I'm not above using household situations for planty things, which maybe I should make a video on that, about all the non-planty plant things that I use. Maybe that would be fun. Okay, so we've got that one right there. That leaves us 2 little bitties. Wait, Okay, so that other one had 6 and 3. This one had 7 and 2. Well, now I know that Costa does 9 per. Well, no, I threw one out. No, I threw one out of both. So they do 10 per. So there you go. All your pots from Costa should have at least 10 notes. For at least of the pothos, they should. So, put these bad boys in this little cup. And I'll probably either sell this one or I will drop it off at my local plant stand. Our neighborhood has a plant stand a few miles down the road from me where it's like a free take one, give one kind of thing. A lot of people do outdoor house plants out there, but every now and then you'll have somebody who drops off like a pothos or begonia, an aloe, because those don't live outdoors here. So that's fun too. I might drop that one off down there once I know that it's established. I don't like dropping plants off that seem questionable or like they might not survive, because that just seems wrong. So especially in this heat, I need to make sure that they're going to be set because it is an outdoor stand. So okay, so last guy is Miss P&J, and I'm going to rotate and put these in my little bin I have over here, because this is just what I use to carry a bunch of my plants. I love a Tupperware bin, not Tupperware, a bin or like a shoe bin for plants. Again, another non-plant thing that I use for plants. So I'm just going to move these over here, that way I have room. So let's talk about this. So this is a massive pearls and jade that I got a little while ago. And my intention with this one was get it potted up and then just put it in my house as just like a nice big P&J. I used to have one. I sold it. I got seller's regret, so I bought another one. Because I have like smaller enjoys, but there's just something about a P&J, and it was a really good deal on this big one. So, you know, twist my arm, I'll buy the plant. Well, as it's been in quarantine, oh my lord, look at them roots. As it's been in quarantine, and I've been like checking over it, looking to see if there's any pests, all the good stuff, I've noticed that some of the leaves feel different. So, you know how pothos leaves feel like, not thin, they do feel thin when you need to water them, but pothos leaves just have like a normal leaf texture to them. Well, what I've noticed with this particular P&J, and I am detangling, I'll be detangling all of the roots on this one because I want to take the plants apart. What I've noticed on this particular one is some of the leaves feel thick. And I don't mean like, oh, they're, you know, big adult leaves. I mean, they almost feel like peperomia leaves. Like, not the thin leaf peperomias that are obviously like, you know, the high humidity ones, but I'm talking like peperomia obtusifolia, how those are like thick, almost succulent-esque leaves. Some of these leaves feel like that. So I want to separate out this plant, or these plants, because I'm sure there's 20 in here. I want to separate these out and see what I can find, or how many of them have this particular quality. See if I can separate them out and pot them up together and keep them as like a little experiment, because that would be interesting to have a pot of like P&J thickums. So, oh, this is going to take me a minute. Well, this is going to take me a few minutes. So, I'm going to pause and I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Well, we're back. What I have found is if you're struggling to disentangle your plants and the roots are just a chaotic mess and you just can't get any farther, go give it a good spray with the hose. So that's what I did. I did it on shower setting. That did okay. And then I just jet blasted that bitch. So now everything is nice and loose. And I can like untangle the roots. Like you can see how much better the roots look now that they've been sprayed. I'm sure the very center is still going to be hell. But at least now I can start like pulling stuff off. So like here, little PJ. So cute. So precious. So there's a little one. Like this one feels like a normal, also pretty, but normal frozen jade. And you can even see that some of these stems are like thick. Sometimes you gotta be a little rough with your plants. It's a little mini workout. Okay, there we go. Okay, see, this one feels thick. But also, like, look at the difference in the thickness of this versus this. Like, do you see the difference in how thick this one is versus this one? Like, this one, chunky. This one, normal petals, regular. So I'm gonna separate them by which ones feel insane. I can't get over that. That's crazy town. Huh. Yep, I'm gonna keep that separate. And I'm just gonna do that with this whole chunk here. And just kind of separate out the ones that feel a little like this big vine, way different. Like it just feels so interesting. All right, yeah. This one, same deal. I keep seeing perlite everywhere, and since I talked about mealybugs before, I'm like, mealybug? No, perlite. Mealybug? Perlite. Also, in case you guys didn't know, the way to tell if you have perlite or mealybug on your hands or on your plant is, this is going to be kind of gross, but if you take it and you, like this, perlite, you take it, you smush it, it like crunches, but also like it doesn't go away, it's just white because it's perlite. If you take and smush it and it's sorry, itch, I got dirt everywhere. I have to shower. If you take and smush it and it's like, what color is it? If it turns orange or like red or anything like that, you got mealybugs. My most recent stint with mealybugs was not one of my own, but one of my parents' plants, unfortunately. They have a, what's it called? They call it a Confederate rose. I know it's not a rose, it's a hibiscus, but that's just what they call it. They have one, and it got infested with mealybugs last year. And when I went to South Carolina a few months ago to visit, it was growing back for the season, and it was infested again. So I went and did the whole 9 yards. I doused the whole thing in alcohol. I made sure to spray it at night because alcohol makes plants phytosensitive. And I didn't want to kill it, obviously. My mom would kill me. So I sprayed it down with alcohol. I did systemic on the roots. I watered it through with 209. I treated it with everything under the sun that I had at my horticultural disposal. And so far, they've not had any pests come back, at least not that they can tell. And I've had them send me photo updates every few days. Like, okay, how's my rose bush doing? So at this point, I basically claim it as my own, how much care I give it. Which is so funny. They have the Confederate rose in the front of their house, and then on the other side of the front of their house, they have a blackberry bush, which they famously only water with leftover water from the dog bowl. It's just my parent's dog is very particular. He's a big German Shepherd, and he will only drink fresh water if you don't change his water every day. He will look at the bowl and then look at you like, excuse me, like peasant, plebeian, what are you doing? I need fresh water. This is yesterday's disgustingness. Oh, I broke off a leaf and it's pretty. So they dump the water bowl every single day into the blackberry pot because it's planted in a pot beside the house. And then they fill his water up. So I guess, and it looks great, by the way. It's huge. It's producing blackberries and they look great. So apparently there's something magical in their German Shepherd dog's friggin' saliva that is making this plant grow like crazy. Because a couple of their neighbors also have blackberry bushes, and theirs don't look nearly as good. So it's just funny to me that I'm out here like, okay, these are all the treatments that you need to do to your plants, and this, that, and the other, and they're like, yeah, well, this one gets leftover dog spit, and it's doing just fine. But I've heard so many stories of people who are like, yeah, my grandma only waters her plant with like leftover coffee or some random shit like that. And plants grow out in the wild in conditions that are just absolutely bonkers. And then you've got people that are way more intense than I am with plant care who are like, you know, checking the plant, checking the water pH and the soil pH and doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, y'all know that these grow outside in like people's backyards, or like pothos, for example. In Florida, they're like, or in Hawaii and Florida, they're like almost invasive because they are wild. Like how big they get, and they just grow up like the sides of people's houses and telephone poles and shit. So this one does not want to let go. Holy hell. And it's one root. It's just one root hanging on. You see that? One root that just, there we go. I just had to threaten it a little bit. See, another thick, weird plant. So, yeah, it's just funny that we put so much care into the conditions of our plants and give them all these pest treatments and things like that, only for them to laugh in our face at the things that we try to do to keep them happy. And then they're like, hey, dog spit equals fertilizer? Yes, please. I'm knocking off so many leaves. This is upsetting. I don't like it. But how else am I supposed to untangle these things? They're like, even with the water spraying, y'all, this is crazy. How compact. Like, this doesn't look like much. This is like 10 plants in here. I've already pulled off. How many have I already pulled off? I've pulled off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And there's this many left. This is not a Costa plant. I don't remember where it's from, but I'm going to look it up and see, because what the fuck, man? What are they doing? I mean, it was a great deal. Like, that's the reason I got it. The price was right. But Jesus. Ugh. I was trying not to make this video like fucking a million hours long, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And when I tell y'all I went out back and sprayed this thing for like 15 minutes to get it to where it is now, that is not an exaggeration by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, there's another little kind of thick feeling one. So I'm sorting them. The thickums, the kind of thickums, and then the regulars. So we'll see how many I end up with. I'm not going to be able to pot them all together. So I'll probably do like 3 or 4 pots. I'll try to put all the thick ones together. I might keep 1 or 2 out separately just for an insurance policy in case the one doesn't do well. Like I've said, or actually, I don't know if I've said, I don't know what it is, but some of the repots that I've done recently, have not gone my way. And I don't mean like the repot went poorly. I mean like I had a situation like this where I got a plant, I take it out, I take it apart, the same thing that I've done year after year and plant after plant. Take it out, I take the roots apart. I'm not super aggressive with it. I don't cut anything off. I just pull them apart. And these plants are just dying. And I've never had that happen before until this year. And I don't know if it's me doing something wrong. I don't feel like it is. Not that I'm like, I'm the plant person, but I'm doing the same thing that I've always done. So, like, the conditions that I'm like, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. What I'm doing hasn't changed, but the plants are different. So it's got to be the plant, right? That's how science works. If the conditions are the same, but the outcome is different, then that means that there's some other variable coming into play. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in school. And even the last school that I did wasn't, like, my college experience was not, I mean, I guess you could say it was animal science adjacent, but it definitely wasn't horticultural. Honestly, I would be super down to go back to school for plants. Like, plant mycology, I think is what it's called. It's like it's not the anatomy of plants, because when you talk about anatomy, you're talking about the, like, genes and stuff like that, but, like, how plants, like, work, and the different, like, pieces of plant, and, like, that kind of stuff would be really interesting to learn more about. I'm just a nerd. I love learning. It's just something that it's one of the reasons why I enjoy the plant hobby so much, is because there's always something new to learn. Most recent thing I learned actually was I frequently, and I'm going to make a video about this, but I frequently have people ask me, what are pet safe house plants? You know, you got your normal, I was going to say snake plants, not snake plants, your normal spider plants and African violets and stuff like that, but like, what's some other ones? And I had someone message me the other day and ask me if I had any recommendations for pet safe plants for their monkeys. And I'm like, oh, like, you know, I call my dog a Tasmanian devil because she's a hurricane. And so I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like, do you mean your cats? Like, your cats climb like monkeys kind of thing? And they're like, no, my monkeys. I'm like, come again? Again, I live in zone 8E, and it's, you know, not exactly a monkey area. And they send me pictures of their tamarin monkeys. I'm like, my gas tip flabbered, y'all. That was a new one for me. That I had to. I put it this way. I was so astonished. I had to message my mom, and I was like, "Mama, you won't believe. You won't believe." So I had to spend my morning a couple weeks ago when that happened, looking up what plants are safe for tamarins. Because I'm like, well, I know what's safe for cats and dogs, but like, there's even some plants that are safe for dogs but not safe for cats, or vice versa. So like, what? I don't know about monkeys. I don't know nothing about them. I'm afraid. Ooh, I'm gonna have to stand up for this because this is. Sorry, uno momento. Oh, jeez, please. You can tell that I'm so gentle with my plants. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to get these two out. That's the last two. I'm trying not to completely destroy the roots. Oh, there we go. Okay. Almost done. Ooh. Actually, nice, Megan. I legit think this is the last. Yep, this is the last one. So this is the last plant in this chunk. So now what I have to do is try to dig off everything that's not like a part of this plant, because anything that's still in this root mass that isn't directly attached to this node is going to rot. Oh wait, there's another node? Girl, where'd you come from? Dead. Okay, so yeah, that was an interesting thing. It seems to be that it's a lot of the same types of plants, by the way, in case anyone was wondering what plants are tamarinds ate. There was just a lot of, also, like, because they are vegetable and fruit eating animals, there's a lot of plants that you can have that they can eat particular pieces of, like they can eat potatoes, but they can't eat the green parts of potatoes. And they can eat corn, but they can only eat certain parts of corn. So if you have it, make sure that you like grow it outdoors and separate from them so they don't eat the parts that they're not supposed to. That kind of stuff. So yeah, it was very interesting because at first I was like, I don't even know what resource to reach out to try to research this information, because like dogs and cats, I can look at the ASPCA. They have tons of resources and guidance on what plants are okay and, more importantly, not okay for for animals. And there's a lot of plants that are like, they're non-toxic, but they're not advised, or they'll cause like digestive issues or stomach upset or whatever. Like Monstera and pothos won't kill your dog or your cat, but if they eat a lot, they'll get very upset tummies. So like, it's not toxic in that it will kill them. I mean, I say that. I can't assume that too much of it won't kill them. I am not a vet. But the I need a bigger pot. One moment, please. Okay, I had to pull out my big name again. So, as I was saying, there's a lot of plants that aren't, like, they won't kill your pets unless they eat a lot. But I've definitely had experiences with my dog getting into plants, and she's still fine. She's still an asshole, but she's still fine. She's eaten, oh gosh, she turns 2 in a few days. So, well, I can honestly say I do not know when my phone died, but here we are. Apparently, I just kept rambling and didn't catch on that my phone died. We're just going to take that as a sign that it was time for me to stop. So I did finish doing all my repotting. I just got done spraying everything down, watering everything through real good. So I'll show you what we are left. So we have the Big Mama. I don't know why I just touched that. I just washed my fucking hands. Well, now I gotta wash them again. Okay. This is the Big Mama P&J. These are the little guys that I took off. This is another little one and another little one. So these two also had the thickum sleeves, and then this one and this one had the like regular leaves. So I'll probably get rid of those. This is a smaller lemon meringue because it's primarily lighter green. This is a smaller global green because it's primarily dark green with light green on it. This is the Big Mama Big Mama lemon meringue, primarily yellow with green splotches. And then the Big Mama global green, which is hard to see. There we go. That's a good leaf to show. There. Oh, there you go. So you can actually see the difference right there. How different they are. And then my Hoya crinkle something or other situation. Ignore the palette in the background. So pretty. All the new growth. I'm so excited for this one to bloom eventually. Oh, and then I've also been able to sun stress it a little bit. See if I can get that to focus. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fucking cool? So neat. Love it. All right. Well, if you guys have any plant chores that you need to get done or have done while I was rambling and chit-chatting about all of my plant stuff, let me know what you got done. Or if you just had this on in the background while you did errands around your house. I know I love to do that with plenty of YouTubers. So if I could be that for you today or one day, that would be great. as it is, thank you guys so much for watching, and happy planting!